Hello everyone. Now you will hear a brief summary of the film Blue Car. Enjoy watching. Mr. Auster is an English literature teacher and Meg Danning is one of his favorite students. In class, the girl read a poem she had written herself and Auster said that she was capable of even more. Meg has a complicated relationship with her younger sister. She constantly has to look after Lily while their mother is away at work all day. She divorced their father. You gave birth to her, so you take care of her. What did you say? Get out of here. Lily cut her foot with scissors and sprinkled salt on it. Meg felt sorry for her little sister and helped her treat the wound. The teacher slipped an application form for a poetry contest into Meg's assignment. He also left an encouraging note. The girl missed the bus. Auster stopped nearby and offered her a ride. At first, Meg refused, but the teacher insisted. He explains that the contest could help her get a college scholarship, but Meg works and doesn't have time to prepare for it. The teacher asks Meg about her family. He found out that the girl hardly ever sees her father, only on holidays. After dropping the schoolgirl off, Auster said he would help her prepare for the poetry contest. Lily misses her father very much. She found his old photos, which her mother might not like since she hates him. In the photo, she herself is dressed in an angel costume. Her little sister was surprised as to why Meg wore their mother's blouse to school, and it was in that blouse that the girl came to the teacher with her completed questionnaire. Auster treated his favorite student to an orange. Meg's poem was about her father, who had left the family. The teacher asked her to describe that day in detail. He himself told a tearful story about how he buried his son. That day he forgot to put on his contact lenses, and instead of the child he saw only a blurry spot of his red sweater. The girl focused and remembered that on that day her father left in a blue car. Auster wrote an inspiring romantic poem for Meg. He never wrote anything like that for me. Who knows, maybe he'll invite you to dance. Lily declared a hunger strike and refused to eat a sandwich even under the threat of a gun. Her mother called and said she would come home very late. Without having eaten, Lily went to bed, after taping up her hands with duct tape. She didn't see her mother at all today. Megan wrote a poem for the contest. Auster acted smart, and after taking the girl on an emotional roller coaster, hinted that she might even be better. Today, the family is having dinner with their mother's friend. He's the one who found Megan a job, which doesn't make her happy at all. No one is paying any attention to Lily. The mother is more concerned about the interview for a new job, which was also arranged by her friend. The time has come for the final of the Young Poets contest. Megan took the stage and read a depressing poem called Blue Car. It is dedicated to her father, without whom life has become unbearable for his daughters. The next day, Auster called her into an empty classroom and advised her not to be upset about losing the contest. And when a saddened Meg was about to leave, he suddenly announced that she had actually won, so they would have to work together some more so she could participate in the National Poets competition. In class, Megan is no longer as sad as she usually is. She often stays after class with the teacher, and he treats his talented student to lunch. The final will take place in Florida, and it's unlikely that Meg's mom will be able to go with her. Their conversation was interrupted by one of the students, who turned out to be Auster's son and asked him for lunch money. When Megan got home, she found her sister upset and her mother asleep, having taken some pills. Judging by the bruises, her mother's boyfriend had made advances toward her. The woman refused him, which is why she didn't get the job. Lily tries to cover up her freckles. She is constantly taken to a psychologist, but the girl isn't getting any better. She calls herself an angel and still refuses to eat. At church, the girl spread her arms wide and fainted. After that, Lily was admitted to the hospital. Megan met with the teacher and said she couldn't go. She wants to be near her sister. Auster hugged her, started stroking her, and assured her that Lily would be fine. Megan is surprised. Why is the teacher so kind to her? Her mother confronted Meg since she had taken time off work and lied to her boss, saying her father would drive her home. The girl hides who actually gave her a ride. She spent a whole 2 hours with the teacher. If I find out who your boyfriend is, I'll tell his parents what a scoundrel their son is. Meg wanted to withdraw money from her account for the trip to Florida, but without her mother's signature, it's impossible. Auster left her a tasty little gift on her backpack, a car-shaped candy. Her friend Georgia is also going to Florida with her family and invited Meg to stay with them. In that case, she would only need to pay for the bus ticket. The girl visited Lily, bringing her a toy and some chocolate. Her little sister is really in trouble. Someone supposedly comes to her at night and takes away her wings. Wings. They won't grow because the tube contains invisible food. Megan promises Lily that she'll take her with her to Florida. The mother was informed that they were planning to transfer her younger daughter to the psychiatric ward. Megan couldn't withdraw her earned money, so she asked her boss to pay her next salary in cash. She also stole some ties from the warehouse and went to a clothing store, claiming she had bought them a week ago and now wanted to return them. But she didn't have a receipt, and the manager said that those weren't their products anyway. In the middle of the night, the mother received a call from the hospital. Lily wanted to fly and the window in her room was open. Her daughter is gone. The father was present at the funeral as well. Even today, he and the mother ended up arguing. Megan hung Lily's toy around her neck and found a photo of her, in which the girl had erased her own face. Near the school, Megan got distracted watching the teacher practice with the boys in the yard. At work, the boss immediately announced that the thief was fired and that she wouldn't get her salary. And then he kicked the schoolgirl out of the store. At home, her mother searches Megan's room trying to find the stolen ties. Her daughter had suffered from kleptomania before. Megan threatens to move in with her father, but does he even want her? In a whole year, he only came to visit his daughters 3 times. And he can't even manage to pay child support, just $60 a week. Because of this, her mother works 12-hour shifts and also attends courses. And Megan embarrasses her in front of her friends and steals from the store. Ungrateful brat. Meg tried to take her sister's things, which their mother wanted to put away in the closet, and suddenly got slapped in the face. After that, the schoolgirl threw her clothes into a bag and left home, leaving her key behind. She decided to seek comfort from Mr. Auster, her teacher. He hugged his student, and the girl gently kissed him on the neck. Auster said that Megan was beautiful, and then stepped away from her. George's parents allowed the girl to stay with them for a while. Her older brother Pat also lives in the house. He had already served time for stealing credit cards. The guy admitted that he regrets upsetting his mom and dad, and now wants to make up for his mistakes. Megan is familiar with this, since she also stole things several times. She wanted to buy a bus ticket to get to Florida. Pat said that he'd rather drive her there in his car than have her sit for 14 hours next to some fat creep. In exchange, the ex-con asked her to steal a few bags of pills from the pharmacy that had been prescribed for sick people. In the bags, Pat found Vicodin, Oxycontin, Viagra, and a bunch of other pills that could be sold for good money. Now they have enough money to make it to the ocean shore. Today, Auster is giving his last lesson. After that, summer vacation. The teacher is disheartened. He seems to feel awkward being around Meg after what happened. But then the man immediately asked the student to come over and stuck a star sticker on her forehead. I wish I could show you how I feel. Before bed, Meg gave Pat one of the stolen ties as a gift, and he told her they would set off on their trip at dawn. But in the morning, no one woke Meg up. Pat was already gone from the house, and the police were making a list of everything he had stolen from her parents: jewelry, collectible coins, the car, and even the family silver. Now the family isn't going to Florida at all, and the girl has no idea how she'll get to the competition. Her own wallet is completely empty. As we know, a bad example is contagious. And so Meg, sneaking into her own house, made her way to her mother's jewelry. At the pawn shop, they were only willing to offer her $75 for the wedding ring, a jacket, and a bike, and Meg agreed. Finally, she takes a bus to Florida. At a cafe by the parking lot, the girl finished someone else's lunch. That's how the schoolgirl made it to the ocean shore. A room at the hotel where the poetry contest would be held cost $190 a night, so Meg was forced to spend the night right on the beach. In the morning, she saw her teacher, Mr. Auster, who was vacationing with his wife and son. Megan came over to say hello. The teacher wanted her to join them, and Delia suggested the girl change clothes and buy drinks for everyone. The woman, who seemed nice at first glance, for some reason started mocking Megan and her own husband. I'm sure Meg would love to keep you company, dear. After a while, Auster offered to walk the girl back. Delia suddenly started crying as if she knew something about her husband. And in general, she isn't very happy with him. The woman told Meg that she was sweet and wished her good luck in the contest. I'll do a bit of work later. Bravo! The teacher said that he and his wife have known each other since childhood. Then he suggested Meg put on his sweater and took her by the hand. The schoolgirl gave Auster one of the stolen ties, and he went ahead and kissed her on the lips. The man clarified whether she minded and then did it again. Next, Auster led the student into a hotel room. The girl is embarrassed, but she understands what he expects from her. The teacher finally stopped pretending. He took Meg's clothes off and invited her to lie down on the bed. The poet quickly turned into Mr. Pervert. Meg was upset when she realized that Auster's goal from the very beginning was to get her into bed. There was a rumor that the book the teacher always carried with him was his novel, the one that had won a bunch of awards. But almost all the pages in it turned out to be blank. And the romantic poem he had dedicated to Megan back then was actually written by a famous poet at the beginning of the 20th century. Meg put a star sticker on him and grabbed her head in frustration. Having gotten what he wanted, the manipulative pervert pulled up his pants and offered to walk the girl home. "What's your book about?" Meg asked the teacher. "It's about an old man who falls in love with a young woman. They sleep together and the old man is reborn." After that, Auster stood up and left the room. At the cafe, the waitress treated the young guests to dinner. Meg fell asleep right at the table. In the morning, she showed up at the poetry contest. On the chair, the girl once again found a chocolate shaped like a car. Auster is one of the jury members. Instead of the prepared poem, Meg took a napkin on which she had scribbled lines during the night. She dedicated this poem to her teacher, Mr. Auster. She called him a liar and a monster who breaks girls' hearts. Her father had left her and now she wanted him to leave too, taking his star with him. After finishing, Meg immediately left the contest. Everyone felt uneasy. The girl threw the napkin into the ocean and went back home. She immediately called her father and asked him to pick her up. That evening, her mother came home from work, and they apologized to each other. Meg tried to find a replacement for her father in Mr. Auster, and the scoundrel, knowing this, took advantage of the naive girl. Her mother gave Meg all the old photographs and left her alone. In the morning, her father arrived and took his daughter so she could start a new life. Finally, she too left in the blue car she had written about in her poem.